How's it going, guys? We're about to get started. Before we get started, I want to just ask you guys to take away any distractions, turn off your cell phones, get off of social media, turn off any background noise, and take out your notepads because we're about to learn things too, okay? And guys, if you have any questions, any things that you need to ask me, go to the bottom, to the left. You'll see a chat. Click the chat and ask me any questions, and I'll be able to answer whenever I'm able to, okay? Make sure that you guys stay to the end because I'm going to be showing you how to close real estate deals in your local marketplace today without having to spend any money on any marketing or anything of that nature, all right? So make sure you stay till the end. So we're going to start off with some questions. Have you guys done any real estate deals before? Remember, guys, what I said at the bottom to the left, you guys can ask any questions at the chat box. All right, so I see we got a yes. Okay, cool. We got close 5. No, just starting out here. Okay, cool. All right. If you have not, for the no's, what stopped you? So what stopped you guys? No money. Okay. Okay. Got you. So if you are, for the investors out there, are you guys looking for an easier way to close more deals? Aren't we all, right? Well, okay, cool. You come to the right place. If you currently are or plan to become a real estate investor and want to know an easier way to do business, then you've come to the right place. You've come to the right place if you want to acquire rental properties to add to your portfolio or just to start a portfolio at great prices, risking little to no money, then you've come to the right place. First and foremost, I want to address some fears of real estate, some misconceptions. One of the things is I have no money and no credit. So I'm going to debunk that and share with you guys that you do not need any money, you do not need any credit to get started in this business, okay? I could make a mistake. Let me share something with you. Most of the successful investors that I know have made tons of mistakes, okay? The successes outweighed their mistakes. So I want you to focus on the success that you're gonna have in this business and not worry so much on a mistake that can happen, all right? I don't know what I'm doing. So you're gonna learn exactly what to do, what you're supposed to do. So I'm gonna answer any questions and you're gonna know right now. So you've come to the right place, right? So first off, who the heck is Eddie Colson? All right, my name is Eddie Colson. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. My dad was a math teacher. My mom was a nurse. You see my dad to the right at the top and my mom is to the left. And I grew up most of my childhood, my early childhood, in a small place called Mandeville, Manchester in Jamaica. I grew up pretty small farm. It was really nice. Eventually I came back to America and I, lived a pretty normal life. Ocho Rios, I see Ocho Rios. Okay, cool. I grew up, a pretty normal life. And at some point I ended up getting kicked out when I was 18. And I ended up moving into a local boxing gym at a room at a local boxing gym. There, I've discovered a lot of things, discovered myself. I started reading a lot of books about real estate investors and all different types of, books about self-improvement. And I found out that one of the one of the real estate investors that I was reading about was coming to Baltimore, Maryland, while I was going to University of Baltimore. And when I was going to my many, many jobs, was saying, he's coming to having a free seminar in Baltimore, Maryland. Come out. So I was hyped. I went out there and I went to the seminar, right? So when I went to the seminar, they at the end of the seminar, they said, look, we have another webinar, another seminar where it's going to cost you $300 to go. And I had to borrow that money to go because I was literally making $7,500 a year, even with all the different jobs that I was working. I had to borrow that $300. And at the end of that $300 seminar, they say, okay, look, you're going to need a mentor in order to do this business. And our mentors cost around $30,000. I did not have $30,000. As I said, I didn't have $300 to spend on this webinar. So excuse me, I keep saying webinar, this seminar. So I literally did not have it. They said, go out, do what you have to do to get it done. So I followed what they said, and I found a mentor eventually, after trying really, really hard and going to different local clubs and things of that nature to find a real estate mentor. He taught me all about wholesaling houses. Okay, so, and I will talk a little bit about what that is soon. I spent 6 to 8 months with him, working underneath him for free at his business, and I learned everything that he knew. It took me a really long time after I finished my internship with him, before I actually closed my first deal. I didn't close my first deal until I really got into this book called The Secret. The Secret, it goes over a lot about like the law of attraction. There's this law in the universe called the law of attraction, and it's all about gratitude. It's all about having a really good attitude of gratitude. And, it's all about having, setting goals and imagining and having a vision and a straight plan for what you want. So I made a vision board. I'm sure if you guys heard of vision boards, you can put all different things of what you want in life on there. If I had checks on there, I had how much muscles I was going to have. I had all types of different things, just really getting into this whole law of attraction. So eventually, after really getting into that, like I said, it took me 6 months to close my first deal. I quit my job working at a local bank, and I literally had 3 jobs. I had another job working at a local shoe store, and then of course I had another job picking up boxes and putting them down overnight at a local stock place. Okay, so closed my first deal. I was thrilled. I was excited, man. You couldn't tell me anything. And I did it by having smart, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely goals. Okay, I want everybody take a minute and take a screenshot. Whatever you got to do, write it down. Smart, okay? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. Okay, so you need to be really, really specific about what you want. You need to have a measurable, when do I need to get this thing done? And you also need to make sure that the goal is actually achievable to you and realistic to you, okay? Because a lot of times we put goals that are too high for us, and then we end up disappointing ourselves. So it needs to be realistic, and it needs to be timely. You need to be able to measure it, like how much money am I going to have? How many days am I going to spend doing this? How many offers I'm going to make? Things of that nature. So I made those goals, I accomplished those goals, and I made a lot of money, right? And I was really, really happy. I was excited, but at some point, I ended up spending all of that money on a bunch of shenanigans. I was literally around 18, 19 years old. So you can just imagine somebody who was making goals to make 20 grand in 1 month. And I made that 20 grand in 1 month, but it all went away. And I had a really, really long conversation with one of my buyers who I really respected. And he said, look, Eddie, you need to find a way to get into rental properties, some type of residual income on a regular basis. That's what you need. He said, look, wholesaling is great. It's about raising capital so that you can buy properties, but it's a young man's sport, just like rapping. That's why I got Jay-Z right here. Young man sport. You don't see too many 70-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 60, 70-year-old guys going out chasing sellers and chasing buyers. Okay, at some point you need to know how to get residual income on a regular basis. So that's exactly what I did. I imagine I did exactly what I did the first time. I had smart, achievable goals, and I had visions of properties giving me cash flow on a regular basis, fattening my pockets. You know, I was dreaming big and I was taking action. And the whole idea was for tenants to pay my mortgage. You know, the whole idea was for tenants to pay my mortgage and for the benefit of having cash flow on top of that. Okay. So it took me a while to, you know, to even get this ingrained in my head, but I made it a goal. I set an action, and I found a property where a seller was interested in doing something that I heard where you can buy a property payment over time. Okay. I didn't know how to get it done. I didn't know what I needed to do it, but I knew I was going to get it done. And I knew the power of my network. And I found someone in my network who knew about investing with the payment over time structures. Okay. After he told me more and more about the business, all these different Yoda things that he was saying, like create deals, don't find deals. It was really confusing. And I didn't know what he meant by it, but it took me a while. Eventually I got it. And I ended up closing on multiple rental properties that I now own. And it's a beautiful thing. It gives me cash flow on a regular basis. I have Airbnbs. I have all different types. Okay. But the thing that got me started, the thing that got me there was wholesaling. Okay. So that is a really good skill that you need to have to your, that you need to add to your repertoire, because a lot of buyers, rehabbers, landlords, they don't know how to find deals. And if you know how to find deals, then you can be above the rest. Okay. So what is wholesaling? Wholesaling is assigning your rights to a purchase and sale agreement to an end buyer. Yeah, landlord and definitely rocks. Assigning your rights to a purchase and sale agreement to an end buyer. Okay, so let's say you see a house for sale, right? You see a for sale by owner sign. You give the for sale by owner sign a call, and the seller picks up and he says, yeah, it's a 3-bedroom, it's a 2-bath. I think it needs around 20K in repairs. I had a contractor come out and did an estimate on it. And man, I'm just looking to get it done for $50,000. You say, okay, cool. You give your realtor a call. The realtor picks up and so happy that you're giving him a call because he just loves doing business with you. And he says, look, the average retail value in that area is around $100,000. Okay, so average retail values is basically how much houses are going for in that area fixed up. So the tip-notch fancy houses that you see on HGTV that the rehabbers do, those will be considered comps that could be comparable, that could be considered an ARV, right? So houses are selling for $100,000 in that area, right? So what the formula that we need to do to figure out what we need to offer that seller is 75% of the ARV, which I just told you what the ARV is, minus the repairs, minus a wholesale fee. The wholesale fee is what you want to make, right? So you have $75,000 minus $20,000, that's the repairs, and you want to make $10,000. So that gives you $45,000 that you need to offer to the seller. So you say, hey, Mr. Seller, how do you estimate the cost of repairs? Okay, so there's lots of different ways that you can estimate the cost of repairs. And the thing is that you don't want to put too much time and effort into being meticulous or so analytical about estimating repairs. But one thing that you can do is you can find different contractors, get a phone book, find different contractors, get them to come out and do free estimates on whatever property that you have on the contract. And eventually you'll start to figure out how much contractors are giving repair estimates for. There's different contractors that give different types of estimates. You have general contractors, subcontractors, and general contractors usually are the ones with the licenses. And it depends on what you're trying to do with that actual property, if you're trying to wholesale it or whatever. So I'm going to move on, guys. So you give the seller a call. The seller says, look, I can get it done. I can sell it to you for 45. You say, boom, what I'll do is I'll send you a purchase and sale agreement. So what you're doing is you're getting a assignable purchase and sale agreement. Okay. Once you have it on the contract with an assignable purchase and sale agreement, you're going to market it to landlords. You're going to market it to rehabbers. And you're going to market it to just all different types of investors that you can think of that might be interested in buying properties. Even just someone who wants to buy a property who has some cash or some type of thing, just that's interested in buying properties fast, right? So once you find an investor that wants to buy your property, the investor, he goes to the property, he or she, and they give you a call and say, look, I'm interested in buying the property, you know, and how much you selling it for? 55,000, right? I'm selling it for 55,000, Mr. Investor. So the investor says he's going to negotiate with you a little bit. Says I can get it done for 50,000. He said, look, the best thing I can do is 52. So he says, done. We'll get it done at 52, right? So you have him sign an assignment contract. The assignment is the agreement that assigns the rights to the purchase and sale agreement to the end buyer. Okay, so you meet the buyer at a local coffee shop or whatever, and you collect an earnest money deposit, an EMD. It's basically shows that he's actually serious about buying the property. He's putting something down as collateral to buy the property. I usually have this EMD non-refundable, right? So from there, you guys shake hands and you get the purchase and sale agreement and you go to your title company. So the title company, they're very important. They actually find out if the title is free and clear, to find out if there's any liens on the property, and if there are anything that is owed attached to the property. They make sure that the purchase price can cover it. So let's say that the purchase price is like $60,000 and they owe $50,000. They're covered. The seller gets $10,000. They get that difference. Okay. But if they owe $60,000 and the purchase price is $50,000, somebody has to come up with that $10,000. You're not going to be the one to come up with that $10,000 because you're a smart investor, right? So here is an example. Here's a check of a property that I closed, an assignment deal that I closed, and we went to a local title company, and it was just a lovely deal. One of my students, Akaremi, he made $5,000 on his first deal, and on his second deal, this guy made $20,000. Okay, really, really proud of him. I want you guys to check out my wholesaling houses with little to no marketing money on Amazon. I talk all about this subject, wholesaling houses. I talk about all the different ways that you can wholesale houses with no marketing money that you have to invest, and all different type of creative ways, right? So here are the ways to close a deal. It's a 5-step process. The first step is building your team. Second step is market for properties. Then you need to start negotiating deals. Once you negotiated the deal and have it under contract, you market the property and then you go to close. So the secret to no money down real estate investing is being creative in your deal structure and having a network that you can create deals with. I don't believe he double closed on that. I like to work with buyers who don't really care too much about how much I'm making. I could talk a little bit about what double closing, but that's a good question. So this is how you make money with no money in real estate. Once again, you got the 5-step process. Build your team, you market for properties, you negotiate deals, you market the property. Marketing the property can be very optional depending on if you're looking to keep it or not. All right. So I'm going to talk about all those different steps today. As I said, I'm going to talk to you about how to build a winning team that helps breed deals on a regular basis. We're also going to talk about what's the easiest way to find properties and how to market in today's market, right? We're also going to talk about how to set up relationships that you can negotiate deals with easy. Make it easy to negotiate because of the relationships that you have. We're also going to find out how to find buyers and get them to buy from you on a consistent basis, okay? How to structure your deals and where to get paid. So I want you to imagine for a second, you guys seen that $7,000 check. You guys heard about, my student who closed $20,000. Imagine closing that. Imagine getting that deal and seeing that $7,000, $10,000 with your company name or your name on it. Okay. I know you're wondering, okay, how do I get started, Eddie? Like talking about all this good stuff, but how do I get started? Well, we're going to talk about the first step, how to build your team, and how to build a great team. And the biggest thing about building a team is having a mindset of adding value. Okay. I want you to add value. That is the thing that you need to think about on a regular basis. Check this book out, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is how you learn ways to motivate your team through positive influence. It has influenced and helped a lot of different entrepreneurs, and I sure do go back and refer to it on a regular basis. Here is a quote that is very, very true, especially in this business of real estate. Your network is your net worth. Okay, so just think about that quote for a second. I want you to work on your network and make sure that you network, because it is your net worth. On a scale from 1 to 10, guys, we have a little Q&A session. Make sure, guys, on the left, that's where you do the chat. You click the chat, and that's how you do it. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much value do you add to your relationships? Be honest. I want to know. We won't tell nobody. You can do anonymous if you want. 8. Okay. Thanks for liking the book. We got 8. 7 to 10. Okay, I like that range. So, building your team. Here's a really big aspect to building your team. You want to have real estate agents. Okay. The good place that you can find real estate agents, along with a lot of other people who I'm going to be talking about on this in your group of team that you need to build, you can find them at local real estate clubs. You can find local real estate clubs. You can go to a place called meetup.com. Meetup.com is a great place where you can find different real estate clubs. Just type in real estate investing, real estate, landlording, rehabbing, all those different nice keywords that has to do with real estate, and just see what pops up, and try to go to one on a regular basis. Make it a plan. Actually set a schedule to go to local real estate clubs on a regular basis. Another place that you can go to is you can go to Facebook, and go into the event sections and type in real estate once again. Okay. You can find all different types of people, landlords, rehabbers, private lenders, all different types of people. What you can do when you're looking for these realtors is you're going to go to different brokerages and leave your business cards. You can leave them on a billboard. You can leave them on different places. A brokerage, for example, is Keller Williams. Keller Williams is an example of a brokerage. You also have Berkshire Hathaway is another example of a brokerage. And you want to ask if they can do pocket listings and things of that nature. So let me ask you a question. Do you know any realtors? Remember, in the chat box, do you know any? Oh, you are a realtor. That's great. Do you know any other realtors before you became a realtor? Did you know any realtors? My girlfriend is a realtor. Okay, cool. So you guys already have a part of your team already built. You guys are going to be doing great. Okay, so once you're talking to these realtors, I want you to interview them. And a big thing is you want to see if they're willing to give you access to the MLS. And a good way that you can get access to the MLS on paper is to be a realtor's assistant on paper. You can become a realtor assistant. And, one thing that you can do is just figure out different ways that can make it beneficial to the realtor. So once again, it's reciprocity, and it's about having relationships. So, you need to make sure that you send them referrals and you send them business on a regular basis, because they're going to be giving you access to the MLS, which is a beautiful thing. You can also close deals with realtors through pocket listings and other various deal structures. One thing I'll be talking about in one of my webinars is payment over time structures, all different type of payment over time structures. And you can talk to realtors and have them send you deals, because most people don't do those type of deals, right? Another person you need to add to your team is a wholesalers. Wholesalers are exactly what I just described. Remember when I said the guy gave the guy a call? He gave him a call on for sale by owner sign, and he gave him that offer, and he assigned the rights to the purchase to the purchase and sale agreement to the end buyer. That's what a wholesaler is. You want to find those people, whether you're a wholesaler or not, because in this business, as I said, it's about your network. One word that I love is cooperation. That's what I think real estate is. If I can define it, if I can define how to do this business with no money, it's cooperation. Okay, cooperation with other people who do business the same way you do business, right? So once again, as I said, this networking at local real estate clubs is going to get a little redundant because you're going to find a lot of different people there. So go on Craigslist and look up house for sale or investment property or wholesale deal. Okay. You can find wholesalers on Craigslist marketing their properties. You can reach out to these guys and say, look, I'm a wholesaler as well. I'm an investor. I have buyers, whatever the case may be, and just build a relationship with them and see if they're willing to do some type of business with you and add a list of wholesalers. Okay. So all these people that you're adding to your team, it's not just a team, it's lists. Okay. Not just a buyer's list. You need to have a wholesalers list. You need to have a bird dog list. You need to have all these different lists. Okay. So are you looking for deeply discounted fixer upper properties with built-in equity? It's another ad on Craigslist. There's a lot of obvious type of advertisements where you can just tell that this is a wholesaler. They start talking about, look at the bottom. Look at the bottom. If you see my mouse, sure, to join our VIP property list. They're talking about you joining their property list. Wholesalers, they find buyers and they build buyers and they have a buyers list. So you can get on those buyers lists and do business with them. But if you see them marketing for buyers list, you know that they're an investor. They're some type of wholesaler. Okay. Ask if they're willing to do a joint venture. You need to be asking any wholesaler that you talk to if they're willing to do a joint venture. Okay. So, I mean, you're building relationships and you're creating opportunities for yourself, and closed mouths don't get fed. So you need to open your mouth and say, are you willing to do a joint venture? Now, I'm not saying to go out there and start talking to everyone and saying, work with me, work with me. No. I'm not saying that. Okay. You need to work with the willing. Only work with people who will add value and who value relationships. If they're not on the relationship tip, do not work with them. Okay. WWW. And I also want you to establish rules of engagement. All right. When I say establish rules of engagement, I mean, if they have a property on the contract, you need to know how much it's on the contract for. You need to know how they do business. You need to let them know how you do business. They're all different types of people out there. This is a people business. So people are different. People have different backgrounds. People have different love languages. People have different upbringings. So you need to make sure that you establish your rules of engagement so there is no misunderstanding of how you do business and how they do business. Remember, I said cooperation is about partnership. I want you to have that type of mindset of a we mentality instead of a me mentality. That whole there's no I in team. I know I'm sounding a little corny, but I'm being very, very serious because a lot of people do not understand this aspect of real estate. And if you have this mindset, trust me, you're going to do very, very well. But if you do not have that mindset, you're not going to do very well because it's about doing a lot of deals, not just trying to screw somebody over and doing one big deal, So you want to last in this business. It's about cooperation. It's about give and take. Reciprocity is very, very important. And you need to understand and study that word in order to do well in this business. Just we mentality. It's all about we mentality. All the big dogs, they have a team and they have partners who they do business with. Here's an African proverb that I love, and I say on a regular basis, especially when it comes to real estate investing. If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Okay. Another one of my real estate students, we got Marlene Jordan. I love this lady. She closed on her first deal and made $3,000. Now she's a full-time realtor and a full-time investor. So I talked about it before, bird dogs. Bird dogs are another person who you need to add to your buyers list. And you need to have a list of bird dogs. Remember, have a list. All these people, you're building a list of them. Okay. Bird dogs, they find properties for sale, right? And they bring them to investors, just like a wholesaler, but they do not negotiate. They don't get it under contract. They don't, they may not even know, or they may know, or they just don't have the time. Okay. But they're not doing that extra work that wholesalers are doing, right? So, one of the a good person that you can add that is great as bird dogs are male people. Mailmen know everyone's business. Okay, mailmen knows what properties are vacant. Mailmen know who's having financial problems. Mailmen know who's having a divorce. Mailmen knows your business, whether you care to admit it or not. They know everything. Okay, and they know everything about what's going on in the community. Do you think it's a good idea to have them as a bird dog? And say, hey, and put a bird in there and say, hey, if you see a house for sale, if you see a for sale by owner sign, if you see a house that's vacant, if you know that there's properties that's out there that, let me know. Let me know, because I'm looking to buy properties with cash, and I give referral fees. I tell people up to $2,000. The common bird dog fee is around $500. You figure out what you want to do. Make sure you know your local laws, because there are laws when it comes to associated with that, right? Another person you can add to your bird dog list is bankers. I used to work at a bank myself. I told you guys that was the first job I quit. Bankers know a lot of information, just like the mailman. When people come to the banks, they tend to give a lot of information about their financial troubles, about what's going on in their home life. They just spill all the beans. Okay. And I have closed multiple deals from a specific banker who I used to work with, who sent me deals on a regular basis. And it's a beautiful relationship. And I really highly encourage you to talk to your local banker and see if they're interested in becoming a bird dog. Another good person, another one, is code enforcements. So code enforcers, depending on, if you're an investor already or not, then you probably know what code enforcers are. It can be a bittersweet relationship if you set it up the way I'm about to tell you now. Okay, code enforcers, what they do is they give homeowners fines for having high grass, for having overloaded mail in their mailbox, for having lids on their trash can. They work for the city, and they will give you a fine for just not having not having your house up to code. If it's an eyesore to the community, one of your neighbors can call 411, 311, whatever the number is, and they come out and they give you a fine, and you have to pay it by a certain time. And if you do not pay it, at least in Baltimore, I'm not sure how it is everywhere else, but in Baltimore, that code violation becomes a tax lien, which then is auctioned to the public, and you can lose your house, right? So most code enforcers, some, but most, they actually care a lot about the community. That's what they're there for. Without them, people, depending on certain parts, the certain neighborhoods, the houses would just be really, really bad, okay? You want to link up with code enforcers and find out what properties are in the area that might be interested in selling. They're good. They're really, really good bird dogs, because they are literally giving out tickets for people who can't afford their property or can't afford their properties anymore. And you can be there to help them. Don't forget about your friends. Do not forget about your friends. Look, if you're an investor and you're looking to buy properties on a regular basis, and you're looking to do this and with no money, but you're also looking to do this without having a job full time, you need to be telling everyone that you're an investor. No one should know that, no one should not know that you're an investor. Okay. So tell all your friends that you're an investor. And you also should be letting your family members know, cousins and all, that you're an investor and that you're looking for properties for sale. You give referral fees. Okay. Here's an example of a mail, not a mailing piece, just a regular marketing piece that we did, some flyers. Need to sell your house? Yes. We buy houses. We can handle any situation. Find out more info. Call, have the number there now. Refer a house for sale and get up to $2,000 at closing. So that's an example where I'm marketing for bird dogs. they see that I give referral fees. So you want to mention this. You want to let people know that you give referral fees. And I like to give up to $2,000 because most people aren't giving that much. And I say up to because that way, you know, it's not false advertising. I'm looking for abandoned houses to purchase in Mercer County, Trenton, Hamilton, Ewing, Lawrence, and Princeton. I'll pay you $500 cash for each house you show me a property that I purchased. Text me the address, and got all this emojis. So this isn't my post. This was someone's post on Facebook, but they did a really good job at being specific of where they're buying properties, the specific areas, the specific neighborhoods. I don't know where these places are. That's not in Baltimore, but you know, he's saying he'll give $500 every time, and he specifically said at closing. I thought that's what did he say at close? No, he didn't say at closing. So when you guys give your cash, actually give the fee to your bird dog, you need to make sure you pay them well. You know, like I said, I tell them that I give them that they get paid at closing. So that means that when I close, if it's a wholesale deal, then I get a check and they get a percentage of that check. That's all it is, right? So they get $500, $700, $1,000, depending on how big the deal. But what I like to do is, the bigger my deal is the bigger their money is, because I want them to send me deals every single time they see a for sale by owner side. I want them to stop in their tracks when they're driving, you know. And the person, if you forget to pay someone or don't pay someone or shortcut someone or don't do what you say you're going to do you think they're going to stop again to show you a house, to send you a deal? You want people to breed deals. You want people to feed you deals on a regular basis all the time. So you need to make sure that you have reciprocation. I like that. No, I love the participation. So you're also going to be creating a buyer's list, just as you see wholesalers are doing that in Craigslist and all these different places. They say, come to my VIP buyer's list. You're going to be doing the exact same thing. You need to have a whole big list, so that way when you have properties, you have buyers that are willing to buy them. And once again, you're going to be finding them at local real estate clubs. All right, so here's a really cool way that you can find buyers, right? So there are different local auctions in your area. Let's say you have a property on the contract on Smith Street, right? And you see that there's an auction that's being done 3 doors down, four doors down, whatever it is, but it's on Smith Street, right? So you go to the auction and you see there's only as many people that show up to the auction, right? Only one person is going to become a buyer. So that means everyone else there are buyers, and they're pissed that they didn't get that property, right? So what you do is you're going to say, look, I see you didn't get that property, whatever, man. I got a property 3 doors down that's less than that. The same type of property, everything the same. Do you think that person is going to be interested in that property or what? You guys can respond if you want. Do you think people are going to be interested in a property that's literally in the same area where they just bid a property? Do you think they're going to be interested in yours if it's in the exact same area? Absolutely. So you can go to auctions and find buyers. You could also go to landlord-tenant court cases. So they have different types of landlords and tenant cases where, tenants don't pay their rent, and the landlord decides to sue them and take them to court and say, pay me, pay or quit, all types of different things. So what you can do is you can go to a local district court, you can find out when they have their landlord-tenant cases. When you go to you go there, you specifically ask, because they're going to have specific days. Some district courts have landlord-tenant cases every single day, because every single day, that's how much volume they have. Some district courts only have landlord-tenant cases 1 day out the week or 2 days out the week. But whatever it is, that can be a day that you go. I used to have a rule where I would make sure that I go to a networking event every single weekend, at least one. If I'm being ambitious, 2. And if I couldn't find a networking event, or if I couldn't go to one, or I didn't feel like going to one, I would consider going to a landlord-tenant court case, a networking event, because they're literally landlords there, and that either they're either already savvy enough and deal with landlords, tenant on a regular basis. They don't care if tenants, they care, but they just see it as a cost of business, and they're looking for more properties. Or B, they're looking to sell their house because they're tired. They're tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired of this tenant who's not paying them. Okay, so you can find both buyers and sellers at those landlord tenant cases, and what you do is you give your business card to them, and you let them know that you have properties for sale. So I have this bonus, that I told you guys about in the beginning, where you can close deals without having to spend any money. And I'm going to talk about that. And that is exactly how you're going to keep your inventory of properties full at all times. You want to have your inventory of properties for sale full at all times. I had a saying, I used to always say that if you don't have an inventory, at least any properties for sale, the minute you don't have any properties for sale, you're out of business. You're no longer in real estate, because how are you in real estate if you don't have a property for sale? So one way that you can have properties for sale at all times is the bonus that I'm going to share with you in a few. So the best way to find buyers is to always have properties to market. So every single time that you talk to buyers, you should be having a property to market to them. Okay. So that way they see that this guy always got properties. This guy is serious. This guy knows how to get deals done. You don't want to just be calling buyers and you don't have anything on the contract, man, or you don't have something to sell to them. What are you calling them for? You calling them just to get their criteria? I mean, you can do that, but how much better of a conversation? How likely are they to want to give you that criteria if you actually have a property to sell to them, right? Build a relationship with buyers, right? That's the start of the relationship. You got to show that you're serious. You got to show that you actually have properties on the contract and you're not going to waste their time. Time is very important in this business. So I want you to go on Craigslist. I want you to go Facebook, wherever, local real estate clubs, like I said, all those different places. And I want you to add buyers to your buyers list. Get them on the same type of list that you see where you saw all those other wholesalers. You need to add those people to your buyers list. So, I mean, every single day, there should be people added to your buyers list. One way I keep track with buyers is I use MailChimp. You can use Constant Contact. You can use Aweber. You can also use different types of channels, right? There's emails, there's texts, there's calls. And I love how these questions are coming like seamlessly with the slides. There's calls, there's different channels that you can contact your buyers with. So, you want to have a list of emails, you want to have a list of phone numbers, a list of faxes if you're into that type of stuff. Because I do know one of my mentors, he used to send faxes of properties that he had on the contract, take a picture of it, a description of what it is, and fax it to a whole bunch of people. And he used to close deals like that. I don't do that, but hey, you need to have a list and you need to market that channel. So also, here's another people that you need to have to your add to your team. Is a title company. Without a title company, you can't close anything. Okay. Title companies, like I said, they find the title and they search to make sure that it's free of all encumbrances and it's free of all free and clear of any mortgages or any liens. And if there is any liens or mortgages, at least the purchase price covers it. That's what they're there for. They're there, and they also cut your check. So you go to the title company to get a check once you actually wholesale a deal. Okay. So you can I'm going to answer that question. First, you can find title companies transfer the deeds from seller's name to buyer's name while making sure any liens are paid through purchase price or paid outside of the purchase price, right? So I explained that earlier. Okay, so how do you find title company? We got a question. So remember, your network is your net worth, right? You can literally call anyone in your circle and ask them any question. If you need to find out where contractors are, if you need a contractor, if you need, whatever, call your network and find out. Okay. So what's one way to find out and make sure to ensure that title companies actually do assignment deals and do wholesale deals? You call wholesalers and you ask them, where are you closing your deals? I don't think they're going to have a problem with telling you that, because remember, you're doing deals with these people. The title company takes all contracts to closing. When you wholesale houses, the title company cuts the check. Like I said, that's where you go to get your check. So that $7,000 check that you saw, the example, a title company cut that check for me after I gave them both those purchase sale and that assignment contract. A title company cut that check and gave me that check at closing. Okay. Make sure the title company does assignment deals, AKA wholesale deals. Not all title companies are created equal. They all are different, and they all do not do wholesale deals. So like I said, you can call wholesalers. You can call all different types of people at that local real estate club that you go into every week. And you can ask, where are you closing deals? And do they do assignment deals? Title companies can also become great bird dogs if the relationship is established. Okay. So title companies, some of them literally have sellers and buyers and whoever they close with sign paperwork stating that the title company will not share their information with anyone. Okay. But title companies can also be great bird dogs, because let's say a deal falls through with, John, Tom, and Terry. Tom is selling to Terry, and Terry doesn't close. Terry doesn't have the funds to close, right? So Janice, which is the closing agent, she knows me, and she knows that I close deals on a regular basis, and she knows that I have never not closed on a property, right? So she calls me and she says, Eddie, we had a buyer that just fell through on one of the deals that we're closing. This seller, what did I say his name was? Tom. This seller, Tom, he really needs to sell his house. He's in desperate need, and I just want to look out for the guy. Want to see if you may have any funds that you can buy a property. And I say, sure, definitely. And what I'll do as well is I'll give you a referral fee. They may say, no, Eddie, your business is all that I need. Or they may say, sure, I'll take that referral fee. But regardless, you have somebody who's sending you deals on a regular basis. So what you need to do is closed mouths don't get fed, right? You need to put that little bird in that title company's ear, do deals with them on a regular basis, send them deals, send them referrals, reciprocity, and see if they're willing to send you some deals as a bird dog, right? You also need to have mentors. I like to have a coach, I like to have a mentor, and I like to have my inner circle. I like to have, coaches and mentors depending on what you consider the definition to be. I consider a coach to be somebody who roots you on. Go get them. You got it. Push forward. And I consider a mentor to be somebody who has been there and who I can model from, right? So you need to have mentors. You can find mentors at real estate clubs. You can find them, like I said, that's going to be a redundant thing. You need to have mentors because mentors are, they've been there. They've been around the block. They've seen everything that you've seen. So all the mistakes, all the little things that you're worried about, they can alleviate it. They can tell you what they need to do. Remember, I didn't know how to close a payment over time arrangement deal. And all I did was just call somebody in my circle and they walked me through that deal. They walked me through that first deal. And from there, I figured out how to do it, right? You can also find a mentor from one of your successful buyers. What I like to do is I like to give my buyers a grading system, A to F, and basically I track the properties that I sell to them. And I see if they're actually successful with their properties. You can go on the MLS and you can see how long it took whatever buyer to actually close that property that they rehabbed. You can see how long it took that buyer to find a tenant. What you can also do is you can call and ask the landlord, ask the rehabber and say, hey, I sold you that property. Don't just sell properties and just forget about it. That's not a relationship. Sell the property and then call 3 weeks a month, whatever, call later and say, hey, how does that deal going? How that deal go? You know, can I come and take a look at your work? Can I come and take a look at what you guys did? I love to see, you know, how it turned out. You know, that's first off is showing that you're interested in their business and you want them to succeed. So that way you can have repeat customers, because that's what business is about. It's about repeat customers. And it also gives you the ability to grade them. So now if you see that a buyer is not doing so hot with their with their properties, then you know that, okay, I won't do what they're doing. Whatever they're doing, I ain't gonna do it, right? But the people who are successful and who you're giving this grading system to, you gravitate to them and you say, look, you know, show me your ways, sensei. Get mentored under a top-notch wholesaler. So there's lots of different wholesalers out there, but you know, the ones out there that are closing deals on a regular basis, getting things done, always selling, ABC, always closing, always be closing, then you know they top notch. Link up with them and get them to mentor you. If you want to, you know, of course, I would suggest me as a mentor, but I only take serious people. Learn as much as possible. This is as much a knowledge business as it is a skills business. Okay. So you need to learn as much as possible. I want you guys to read a lot of books. I want you to, to know your local laws. You know, I want you guys to know exactly what's going on in your area, so that way you can know what properties to buy, what areas are buyers buying in, you know, what tools and tricks can I use to make my business better. These are the things that's going to make you a better investor and a better real estate, you know, entrepreneur. Invest in yourself on a regular basis. I want you to create a monthly plan for education. Create a plan for books and courses and trainings, okay? What you want to do when you create that monthly plan is you want to make sure that you're not overspending, and you want to make sure that you're not never spending. You need to spend money in investing in your education. It is very, very important. You know, times change. Real estate does not stay the same. There's all different types of tricks and strategies, different types of laws. You need to educate yourself. You need to also get an accountability partner or a coach. Remember what I said, there's a difference between a coach than a mentor. You know, I consider an accountability partner to be similar to a coach. Coaches, they make sure that you go after what you need to get done. They say push, push, push. You know, if anybody out there lift weights, when you're lifting weights and you bench pressing with someone and someone's telling you to push, I don't know where that strength comes from, but it somehow I'm able to push even harder just from hearing somebody telling me to push. Accountability partners, depending on what type of person you are very, very powerful. And you can create that synergy because you're going to have a reciprocity mindset, and you're going to make sure that you keep them accountable too. Okay, so we got the real estate agents, we got the JV partners, we got the bird dogs, we got the mentors, we got the accountability partners, buyers, title companies. There's so many more people that you can add to your team. I want you to think about it for a bit. You know, you got probate attorneys, you got accountants, you got all different types of people that you can add. You even have people who work in what is it called? The community outreach people, home associations. You know, there's so many different places that you can go to. Home associations is actually a really good one that a lot of people don't think about, because home associations, you know, they care about the community. They want things to get done. So I think they're going to keep track of houses that need to get done, right? So here is the bonus. You guys made it to the end. Thank you for hanging out with me. All right. JV deals. JV stands for joint ventures. This is like the easiest way to get deals done. Like right now, you can literally call a wholesaler that I just mentioned and just call them and say, hey, what do you got in your inventory? Literally, I will text wholesalers on a regular basis, different ones that I'm cool with, people who I've already built relationship with, because I don't got to call them anymore. I don't have to call them. They know me. I don't even have to say, hey, how's it going, sir? I don't have to use those type of words. I can say, yo, what's going on, brother? What you got in the inventory? That's the type of relationships I have with my wholesalers. and they'll send me deals on a regular basis. So I want you to call, I want you to text, I want you to email, you know, offer to show their properties to your buyers. And once again, rules of engagement, find out how much you're going to get paid, how much they have it under contract for, how much they're trying to assign it for. And don't forget reciprocity in your relationships building. Here is an example of me literally closing the deal through text messages. I don't know if you guys thought I was joking about that, but I literally close a lot of deals literally through text messages. Hey, I'm a millennial. Okay, so hi, do you know anything? Do you have anything under contract you are willing to do a joint venture on? My buyers are hungry. So they actually text me. I said, hey, who am I speaking with? I can email you what I have. Where are your buyers looking? Okay. So, you know, he says, what's the spread on this? How many splits? I have it on a contract for 35K. There's 3 people that's in this deal already. You know, you would be the third person. So we have to split it 3 ways. He says, okay, cool. I'm going to be over there today. What's the lockbox on that? So you can put lockboxes on your properties. I like to have in my agreements that a lockbox is going to be on the property, and I try and fill it out depending on how the seller is. Because sometimes I may have to show the property appointment only, or I can put a lockbox on the property. So a lot of wholesalers have lockboxes on the property, so you can just show your buyers, or they can show their buyers whatever property has the lockbox, right? So you want to establish how much you get paid, as I said before. Once they you know, he had that property, he said he's going to show it over to his buyers. He showed the property to his buyers, right? Showing the property to his buyers, you know, literally I have it on the contract. We sign a JV agreement. If we have that type of relationship or not, you know, I can just sign the JV agreement once they get the buyers. You know, it depends on how you work. So he said, cool, I got it sold for $42,000. Is that good? I said, yep, that works. Done. Email me the contract and assignment. We split the 7K. So this guy, he must know how I do things, you know, because he established the rules of engagements, making sure that he knows how much he's getting paid, how much I'm getting paid. What exactly are we doing? So here's an example of a JV agreement that we signed. This is the JV agreement that you sign with another wholesaler to make, you know, to make sure that people get paid. Okay, let me look at these questions real quick. I need to do this. I don't spend enough on education. I need to do that too. Yep, you got to spend money on education. Never thought of home associations. Yeah, I like to have a lockbox. What contracts do you use? Oh, you guys. So these contracts, it is perfect because you're asking me what contracts I'm using. I'm showing you a contract right now. These contracts that I'm showing you right now, I'm gonna give to you guys, and you're gonna get a copy of all my contracts, the JV agreements, purchase and sale agreement, and the assignment agreement. So don't worry about that, right? So here is the purchase and sale agreement. Excuse me, this is the assignment agreement. This is the assignment contract that you use to assign your rights to this contract, the purchase and sale agreement. So you had this on the contract, right? This purchase and sale agreement contract with a seller, and a wholesaler gave you a call and said, hey, you know, I have a buyer that's interested in this property that you have on the contract. And you say, cool. They signed this JV agreement. They signed the JV agreement, and then they show your property to their buyers, and then their buyers signs this assignment agreement. Just so you know, you guys are clear on all that. And in the purchase and sale agreement, it has to have the clause and or assigns. Okay, you cannot assign it if it does not have this and or assigns, unless you do a double close, as was just talked about in the chat. But you know, if you're trying to assign it, then you need to have that clause in there. Here is one of my students, Alexis Calderon. He closed on his first deal and made $2,500. I'm so proud of that, brother. So what do you guys think? Why'd you guys show up today? Are you tired of a 9-to-5 job and just want financial security? Do you want to have financial freedom and just enjoy life? Do you know that real estate is like one of the pillars to wealth, right? And you just want to get your piece. Is that why you show up? It's time for you to step into your field and make money in your real estate market today. A system that takes the guesswork out, teaches you to make money in real estate and purchase properties with no money down. It's your time. Look, remember now, nothing I've shared with you today was theory. Every single one of these strategies I've used to create a 6-figure business and a rental income that pays me residuals on a regular basis. I'm not a special person. I don't have access to exclusive resources or any tools. I just have a system that works. And if I can do it, then you surely can do it too. So do you want to know how to buy, to keep, and sell real estate with no money down? Remember all the properties that I have in my rental portfolio? If you want to learn how to buy properties with no money down and have a rental portfolio just created with no money down, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I do that with my webinar, No Money Down Real Estate, buying houses to keep and sell if you don't want to keep it, right? The complete A to Z blueprint, how to create a rental portfolio with no money down and close deals through relationships and creative deal structures. Here's one of my students, Adekemi. She bought her first rental property using my no money system down. And her rental is cash flowing at $500 right now on a regular basis. So you're going to be learning how to market to sellers. You're going to be learning all the different direct marketing tricks, direct mail tricks. And you're going to be learning the way that I do it, the correct way, with a follow-up system and all types of ways that you're supposed to do it, and not the old school way, right? Market to buyers. Now, remember, this is up to you. You don't have to market to buyers. You can do this if you don't want to keep it. So I'm going to be telling you how to buy properties, not using any money and keeping it. But I'll also show you how to sell those deals as well. I'm also going to be talking about negotiating with sellers, okay, and all the different tools and tricks and the ways that I do it, different ways that you can really negotiate with sellers without having to be too salesy, okay? Now, closings can be a very stressful thing as it can be a very exciting thing. So I'm going to be teaching you how to manage all your closings. And I have a bonus. This is what I'm really, really excited about, because I spent a lot of my real estate career figuring out ways to get residual cash flow. And I'm talking passive cash flow without having to manage any properties. You don't have to go out and fix a toilet. You don't have to hear from not any tenants at all. You're just getting passive income that you create from your deals that you're doing with all no money. This is a whole no money system. So what will you get? You're gonna get a complete no money down system, all training available now, 100% online, 25 training videos, 10 checklists and cheat sheets, 5 real estate contracts, and this is what you'll be able to create. You'll be able to create a 6-figure business through deals from your network, a rental portfolio that creates financial security and freedom to enjoy life. You're gonna be getting real estate contracts, cheat sheets, and much more. Here's my student, Darian Treadwell. He bought his first rental property and he's making $850 a month on his rental property. Now just imagine, this is one rental property. You can add more and more to this. Okay, so just multiple cash flow. So are you ready to start your closing your deals and adding to your rental portfolio? I know you're saying, okay, Eddie, what is the investment? What do I have to pay to actually get into this class? So the really, really cool thing about this is that your investment is actually a donation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's talk about the value. Now, we know, like earlier, I said that I went to a seminar, and at the end of those 2 seminars, they wanted to charge me $30,000. And I've seen people willingly pay well over $30,000 for real estate courses. So we know that it's at least worth $32,000. But I'm not going to charge you $32,000. Today, you're only going to be charged $97 with only 4 installments right after that to follow. So we have the most flexible, which is 5 payments. Like I said today, $97. And then after that is 4 payments to follow of $97. You guys can actually copy, do a screenshot. I want you guys to screenshot this because you can go to the link at the bottom. Just type in the link and you can get that done. So as I said, your investments will be donations. So I teamed up with Team Triumphant. Okay, Team Triumphant is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to identify meaningful out-of-school activities for Baltimore City youth. So guys, this is not about making money. This is literally a giving back moment. This is all about me giving back to the community and helping people out. So we made this really, really cheap. I'm saying $297. And we made it cheap because we want people to be able to get things done and give back to the Baltimore City youth in my local area. So Team Triumphant started by educators who realized the lack of opportunities available to their students. Team Triumphant have emerged as one of the premier youth development organizations in Baltimore City. Team Triumphant initiative creates opportunities for Baltimore youth that equip them with the skills needed to perform well in school, their communities, and beyond. And here is an example of one of the classes of the students, the kids at Baltimore City, where I taught them. And this is actually on Instagram. Follow me, guys, on Colson090. And here, check out my caption. About to teach these kids a little bit about real estate. We about to have fun, and fun we did have. So, guys, once again, the most flexible plan is 5 payments of $97. So today you paying $97 to follow is 4 payments of $97. And the most flexible plan, $297. And if you do it at $297, then you'll be saving a good amount of money. So if you don't want to do this because you want to give back to Baltimore, you don't want to give back to at-risk youth, look, no harm, no foul. I do not judge you. I want you guys to think about the real estate properties that you can get on a regular basis and the cash flow that you can earn, just like I have earned with my rental properties and have gotten this residual cash flow on a regular basis. And remember what I said, what I did. How did I get this thing done? All I did was dream big. I set goals. But the biggest thing that I did was I took action. See, if you do not take action, then nothing will happen, okay? You will not get anywhere if you do not put one foot forward and then the other foot forward. You cannot get anywhere without doing anything. So I want you guys to take action. Make sure you take action. I have in the comment section, in the chat section, you guys can go and see where you can donate. We got the most flexible plan, as I said, $97. That's 1 payment today. And then after that, it's another 4 payments to follow. And then the best value that we got is at $297. I can think of multiple things that people spend on that money, and we can use this definitely to improve the community and at the same time add value to you, your family, and your pockets. So I'll see you guys there. I'm not going to do any more selling. I'll see you guys at the course. Make sure you screenshot this and go on the chat and sign up now. So peace.